What's going on, everyone? Super excited. John Melton here with MyLifestyleAcademy.com. And we are extra excited tonight because Nadia and myself have a very, 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 very special guest. You can probably see her right now. Can they see you and Chalene? Can everybody? Okay. You can see Chalene Johnson here. So we've been promoting the heck out of this. This is a huge, huge deal. We're really excited to have Chalene here because she's just amazing. In fact, when Nadia and I first started down this path of learning online marketing strategies, wanting to figure out how to make an impact, how to go out there and create an income, create financial freedom, create online businesses, figure out ways to monetize without sacrificing what's most important. Would we all agree, those of you that are hopping on, drop into the comments and let me know, what's your big motivator? What's your number one motivation for starting an online business? Because for us, it was freedom, not income, freedom. Now, of course, you want to make a whole bunch of money and travel the world and do all the things, give back to our favorite charities, buy the nice home, buy the nice cars, do all that great stuff, put our kids in private school, all that's great. But not if we have to sacrifice our health, not if we have to sacrifice parenthood. And Chalene was one of the only ones that really spoke our language. 4 or 5 years ago, we started following her. We became a part of the Marketing Impact Academy, which you're going to hear about tonight. But the bottom line is, she spoke our language, right? How many of us find people online that are speaking right to you? There might be thousands of people in the audience or thousands of people on a Facebook Live or a YouTube video that are watching the exact same video you're watching or attending the exact same seminar, but you're like, man, this person's talking right to me. And we got excited. We plugged in. We implemented. That's the key to success. In fact, for those of you that know Nadia, she's like the best implementer I have ever met. She will not go to an event. She will not read a book, go through a course, and not execute. It's unfriggin' believable. But Chalene just does a great job of keeping it light, keeping it fun, talking about the important stuff, but doing it step by step strategically. We're just excited and honored to have her here. In fact, how many of you are looking to monetize a brand? You want to build a brand. You're looking to leverage social media to build a business. I think it's critical that you understand some of the important components of building a business online, especially today. Things have been changing, right? More and more people are frustrated with the algorithm and their engagement is down. But I think you'll understand that it's not a bad thing, right? Like some of these enhancements, some of these changes are actually really good if you understand how to embrace the changes, how to use them to your advantage. So we're really excited. Nadia is going to be here any second, but for those of you hopping on, make sure you check in. Let us know where you're coming in from. We just want to say hello to all of you. And Chalene, we are excited to have you here. Super
Awesome.
Honored. I think this is the second time we've had you on our page. So just really excited. Everybody loved the first time. Everybody loves you so much. So just appreciate you and would love to have you maybe do a quick introduction and we can get into some good stuff.
Thank you for having me. I think we all agree that it's a great time to have social media and this opportunity, to be able to connect with people right now that we've never met before, like-minded people, share ideas, share passions, share strategies and skills. And I mean, I wouldn't have met John or Nadia if it wasn't for this opportunity. It's, super cool. Anyways, for those of you who don't know me, I have kind of been a serial entrepreneur, I have been a serial entrepreneur all of my life. It was the first probably 26 years of my life, though, I spent doing a million different things, working 80 hours a week, hoping something would pop, kind of like knowing that they were all really good ideas. Like I should do this and I should do this and I should do that. And just seeing what everybody else was doing and trying to figure those things out and hustling, if you will, just hustle. And there was a point at which I realized I shouldn't be working this hard, or why am I working this hard and not seeing a return for the number of hours I'm spending? That I realized I have to be known for one thing. What I decided to do was to simply focus on one thing, which at the time for me was fitness. It wasn't what I went to school for. It was just a problem, a really big problem I had solved for myself. And I knew that there were a lot of people out there who were trying to solve that same problem. And I saw an opportunity. So I went with it and I scraped everything else off of my plate. I wasn't trying to be known for all the other things I had going on. I had to let those things rest for a minute until I could really be known for health and fitness. And because I really studied online marketing and studied customer behavior and how to solve problems, I had tremendous success. I've had 3 number one fitness infomercials. The one that's on TV right now has been running for almost 3 years, and it's called Pio. And what's interesting is I filmed the whole thing for free on my iPhone with the wrong settings. So it's super janky. It looks super homegrown, and it's made millions and millions and millions of dollars from an iPhone. This is another like crazy, incredible thing that we just didn't have 5, 6, 7 years ago. The ability to do production, to reach people, to really truly connect like on your phone, you know? And I think the reason why that infomercial has done so well is because everyone's copied it since then, but at the time it was the first. It was the first one that looked like it wasn't highly produced. And we don't trust highly produced. We think that things that are highly produced are trying to sell us something. They're up, you know, it's too slick to be legit. So I think that's a real, a nice way to like level the playing field for everybody. And I just mentioned that because if you own a smartphone, if you own a newer version of any smartphone, whether it's Android or iPhone, you have everything you need to kill it, to work wherever you want, to kill it in business. You have the tools that you need. The next thing that I had to learn the hard way was, what do I need to do and in which order? So I started, you know, my husband and I, when we were trying to figure this out, we spent, I don't know, over the course of 2 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I went to every seminar. I went to every workshop. I was like that, you know, business development junkie, but it wasn't because I was being a junkie. It was because every time I went or bought a training, I would find out that there was something I needed to do first. And I'd be like, dang it. Like, I wish someone would just like lay this out for me. So I didn't like go to 12th grade and then 9th grade and then 6th grade and then 11th grade. Like, that's what I felt like I was doing. You know, it was my mission I'm like, you know, I solve problems. I'm going to solve this problem for all the people who are also very interested in business, they don't need the motivation. They need to know, okay, just tell me what to do, how to do it, how, not just what, but how, and in what order. And I'm like, I'm going to be that person for others. And I geek out on this stuff. I spend the majority of my time studying it, learning it, and teaching it. And today I'm filming from our headquarters here in Aliso Viejo, California. My husband, Brett, and I have now created to date, using those same techniques, almost 8 different businesses in 8 different industries, from physical products to online products to coaching and mentorship. And each one of those individual businesses have independently earned over 7 figures. So when people say, do these kind of things work for, I'm like, fill in the blank, whatever industry you're in. That's the kind of cool thing. It's the techniques are the same. Like the foundation is the same, whether you have a brick and mortar or you're in network marketing or you have a physical product. Like the formula is the same.
And it's amazing too, because when you hear that, it's like you could do all that, like you said, from your home, from your phone. If you have an internet connection, anything's possible. But what I would ask, because, you know, you'll see people say, well, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? So you'll have people go join like 7 different network marketing businesses or launch 7 businesses in 1 year. And then they can't figure out why they're struggling, right? And I know we talked about this beforehand, and it just seems that sometimes we put the cart in front of the horse, right? We're trying to do too much too soon. And then we can't figure out why we get burnt out. We can't figure out why we're overwhelmed. And that's really part of the problem, is that we're trying to do too much too soon. And we don't realize that, maybe the end goal is 7 streams of income. Maybe the end goal is to create all these income streams. But in the beginning, you focus on one thing. Like you said, you focus on that one thing and get that up and running, create profits in that one thing. But what I would ask you is, how does someone decide? And this is a constant struggle. How do they decide what's the one thing? What's their brand? Mm-hmm. How do they get started? What do you find, especially in 2019, that for someone that's trying to get some clarity with that direction, if you will, where do they start? How do they get that ball rolling so they can start to create that online business success?
First of all, everyone's decision is very dependent upon how they define success. The way I define success is peace. So certainly I could have focused on something other than fitness. Let me just be very frank and say fitness was not my like love, diehard passion. Teaching business was. But I knew that the opportunity that I was facing, the opportunity to make more money, the opportunity to serve more people who recognize they have this problem was in fitness. And I had to say, at some point, I will have the opportunity to be known as a business expert. But in this moment, the one that's going to be easiest, I guess you should say, in terms of easiest, meaning where I had the least amount of friction, the greatest earning potential, and the greatest opportunity in that moment was fitness. So I ask everyone to ask yourself, not like which one are you most passionate about, because you probably have some passion for all of those things. And you can find a way to be passionate about bagging groceries. I don't care what it is. There's a way for you to figure out how you can serve people and apply your purpose to whatever it is you're doing. I don't care what it is. So you have to pick the one that's going to give you the closest definition, the closest realization of your definition of success. And for me, that was, how can I make the most amount of money, help the most amount of people, and have to work the least amount of time and be known. Because you have to be known for one thing first before you can branch out to all those other things. And John, you said, a lot of people try to do a lot of things at the same time, and they hope that they turn out well. And the analogy that I make is that is like adopting 7 children. I can't imagine that there's the same kind of bond and connection and development that there is when you pour everything you have into your firstborn. And so when we see people who are hustling and grinding 7 days a week and flying all over the country and always, doing all these things, we feel like, I guess that's what I should be doing too. And they look happy. Why aren't I happy? Well, because they're not. They are not. If you're trying to feel that from somewhere else, if you need it because you need to be more successful and you need to climb higher in rank because, well, once I reach that point, then I'll be able to rest. No, you won't. You will only be able to rest when you decide, okay, what is important to me in this life? And what do I have to do creatively to make that happen without killing myself? And when Brett and when our first infomercials were number 1 on TV, every opportunity you can think of came our way. We could have done appearances every single weekend, television shows, speaking engagements, speaking at other events, you name it. But we decided we have to be much, much, much smarter at this, or we'll never be able to enjoy the life that we've created, and our kids and our marriage will pay the price. It's a wonderful way to waste your life working, researching, Googling, YouTubing, failing, feeling frustrated. The shortcut is to go to someone who says, let us save you some time and a lot of money, and let us show you the right way, the right steps in the right order, so that you can actually enjoy the success that you're creating.
That's why we were so excited to learn from you way back when, because we could tell that it was about priority. I mean, look, you want to have a successful business, but there are ways to create the life you want while building the business of your dreams, especially like you said, with technology, with us all having access to social media. Like we can all become our own, social celebrity inside of the social media platform we're using, right? And even that, sometimes people are like, oh, I got to learn LinkedIn and Instagram, and I got to have a podcast, a YouTube channel, and Facebook. And it's like, dude, pump the brakes. Ultimately, people just need to start somewhere. And you know what? Start doing some videos, start doing some stories, putting out content and value into the world.
When we as entrepreneurs, the way that we build our business is by looking at what other successful people have done and then just copying it. And we start creating or copying, and we're playing catch up as opposed to getting there first and getting ahead. Getting ahead, meaning being an early adopter. One of the reasons why you see people who have huge YouTube subscriptions is because they got there first. People who are the biggest podcasters who you're like, well, they're not that great. They got there first. Some of you who are in network marketing, I bet there's people in your organization where you're like, I don't get it. They got there very early. So they were there when the techniques were effective and it worked, right? And Facebook is a wonderful example of this, where everybody is coming at you with these super corny, cheesy ways that they're trying to recruit you. And it worked. It used to work. And now we're all like, yeah, you're asking me about my lashes. Okay. So I know which MLM you work for. Like you know, all the things now. We're all so keen to it. We've all been added to a million message boards, and we've all been added to a bunch of Facebook groups. And these things, don't get me wrong, they still work, but they're becoming less and less effective because we're showing up after everyone else has already rummaged through everything, and they've made it less effective, less impactful. And then people wonder why the people that they are recruiting and bringing onto their team aren't the caliber that they once were able to recruit. When we talk about turning followers into customers, I think we all know that follows the formula of know, like, trust, buy. So when I talk about some of these techniques I'm about to share with you, these really fall into the building trust. People trust us because every time they call in the middle of the night, we show up. It means that when people show up on your Facebook page or on your Instagram, they immediately know this is the problem this person solves for me. If I'm showing up to your social media platform and I'm like, I can't tell what problem, they seem like a nice person, but I don't see what problem they solve for me. When people show up to your stuff, they have to go, oh, here's what this person is good for. Here's the problem that they solve. And so some of the things that I want you to think about, and these are really cutting edge where if you want to show up early and be an early settler, let's talk podcasts for a second. I don't want you to start a podcast. I want you to be a guest. Everybody and their brother is trying to start a podcast. Why? Because they see someone else had success on a podcast. Yeah, because they got there first. But now the money, the eyeballs, the opportunities are made being the guest, the person that everyone has on a podcast. I spoke to a gentleman just 4 weeks ago who I had on my podcast, and he said he launched his business in year one. He had made $37,000 and was struggling. And from one very popular podcast interview in less than a year, and he credits this interview. That interview took him from $37,000 to $4 million in revenue in 1 year. Wow. One podcast. Now, would starting a podcast have done that for him? Hell no. No, he still would have about 200 subscribers and be begging for it every day. And he wouldn't be making any money, but you get on one podcast, my podcast, for example, which I started many years ago, 5.5 years ago, gets a million downloads. We're at 1.5 million downloads every month.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So instead of trying to start a podcast, here's a tip for you: get on a podcast. Here's another one, LinkedIn. I know everybody and their brother's on Facebook, but what are people thinking about when they're on LinkedIn? Business. They're thinking about their money and they're thinking about business. Mm-hmm. And people who are on LinkedIn are already successful.
Yeah.
They're not playing, games on Facebook. Understand that video platform is, in terms of generating content, you got to get on LinkedIn. And even when I do say that, I know there's people out there going, oh man, I don't have time for that. I'm already spending so much time on Facebook. And how's that working out for you? So think about if right now you're spending 2 hours a day trying to figure things out on Facebook, what if you cut that just for 2 weeks? You just cut it down to 30 minutes and you spend an hour and a half learning a new platform, like how to become an expert being interviewed on podcasts or how to make your mark on LinkedIn. So we have a program, an academy, if you will, and we have students who we're constantly polling. They're always giving us the best information. And a large percentage of our academy members are network marketers. So we're constantly polling them to figure out what's working. How is this working? What is the best opportunities? Where are you seeing opportunities? So network marketers and those who offer products and services, that's the biggest chunk of our members. And in our most recent survey, we found that those who are earning over $1 million, they have said over a 37% increase in their revenue when they switch their efforts from Facebook to Instagram. And this is the first time in 7 years that I've actually said that. I've always said, you guys, whether you like it or hate it, Facebook's the place to be. We got to be there. It's where everybody is. Not anymore. The Facebook demographic is getting older and older and older. And the Instagram demographic is getting far more engaged and more personal. And the beautiful thing about, Instagram is that it's so much easier to go deep by using direct messages. And so if I can give you a specific tip on Instagram, because I know some of you are like, well, I've got an Instagram account, but it's crickets. Themed accounts are growing at nearly 10 times the rate of personal accounts. When we follow a themed account, we're specifically looking to solve a problem. Here's the beautiful thing about starting a themed account. Let me give you another example of one. Let's say that you are someone who helps people with design or personal style. Well, then you would start a themed account that's just for style for women over 40. The beautiful thing about this is now you don't have to come up with content. Themed accounts are sharing the best curated content on the internet and then giving credit to the original creator. Now, when you give credit to the original creator, guess what they do? They're like, oh, well, thanks. And we've been doing this now for 3 years, and we've never once had anything other than that's awesome, thank you. And typically a shout out, which grows the account so much faster, so much quicker. Very easy to do. Guess what else? Very easy to outsource because it's not you. Because that's what's happening on Instagram now. People aren't that interested in following personal brands. They really want to follow themed accounts that solve a problem for them. And so these are again, all things that fall under the category of trust when we're talking know, like, trust, buy. The biggest mistake I think entrepreneurs make is that they spend all their time in the trust because all they do is create more content, and then they can't figure out why people won't buy for them. And the reason why people won't buy from them is because they never built the proper foundation in the know and the like category. They never truly figured out who is my ideal customer? Who's my lifer? What is my brand? What is my language? What is my voice? What are the colors that speak to my lifer? What are the fonts that speak to them? What offends them? What attracts them? What repels them? What problem are they looking for me to solve for them? That is the know. And then the like part is really understanding, like, how do I get someone to like me? I have to create reciprocity. I need to create an email list. I need to create freemiums. I need to create opt-ins. I need to give people so much free content that they are blown away by the amount of free content. And I don't just mean social media. I mean like things that are useful. That's an area where I think most people, they're like, oh, I've got to do an email list. Or they're like, oh, I've created an email list. Well, how many free opt-ins and freemiums and giveaways like PDFs and audios? And are you constantly looking at those to make them just 1% better? Because if you can increase your conversion rate by just 1% every week, that brings you in so many more customers at the top of your funnel. Because let's face it, the business we're all in is eyeballs. We need enough eyeballs on it so that they filter down into so the people who we're looking for, the right people, show up here at the bottom of that funnel, if you will. If you're not pulling in enough eyeballs and building that know and like, and all you're doing is focusing on the trust, no wonder you can't sell. No wonder no one's buying from you. No wonder you feel like this is so hard and you're spending 80 hours a week and it's just not moving because it's proven every single time you follow the sales formula, it works. And when you leave out a piece or when you put one piece in the wrong order, the sales formula doesn't work. It's a formula that my students, we force them to commit it to memory. Like you really need to understand this because it's the same formula that I'm going to use in my emails. It's the same formula that I use in my sales pages. It's the same formula that I use whenever I'm trying to get someone to take action and invest. It's the same exact formula that you'll see in every single infomercial that you watch. Everyone who knows how to serve and not make you feel like you're being sold, they know this formula.
When I first started to really get the idea of, okay, we got to focus on our income producing activities. We got to outsource the rest. But then there's all these other steps. And you guys, how many of you can relate to this? You go to the internet and you Google stuff. And internet is like a blessing and a curse, right?
Yes.
Because there's so much information and then you sort through it and then you want to die because it's overwhelming. This is what happened to me, Chalene, like legit, the dramas and the details, which I am not going to get into. And if I were to start over again today, I would want to know, okay, can I just have like a roadmap? If I was going to travel from Maryland down to Florida, sure, I can take 95 South and hopefully one day get there, or I can turn on the GPS. Honestly, time is the most precious commodity, right? So there's only so much time in a day. There's only so much time that we have. We got to conquer the world and we got to do it quick. So can you talk to us about your Marketing Impact Academy? Because seriously, if I were to start from all over again, I would literally say, I wish I would have found your course when we were brand new, because it has all of the moving parts and all in the right order. And you guys, you got to pay for organization, not information. That's what I found to be true.
What I wanted to create is an academy, a lifetime academy, so that you don't need to buy yet another course. Yeah. So that no matter what it is, whether it's you want to know how to run Facebook ads, or maybe you just need to figure out what you should focus on. That's where we start. Like it literally takes you from the beginning all the way to the very, probably, 5, 6, 7 years into your business, which you don't need 12 weeks from now. You're not even ready for it 12 weeks from now. Yeah. But when you are ready for it, it's there for you. Now, here's the part that some people would say is the most valuable part of the Marketing Impact Academy. It's that I'm a mother and I'm going to mother you and I know what's best for you. And here's what's best for you: to get the right things done first. Because if you're messing around on social media and you haven't built a journey for your customers, if you're just trying to send them to one thing and be done, no, that is not a lifestyle. That's called busting your ass for one customer for one sale. I'm going to force you to create a plan for what that would look like. If you're playing on social media and you don't have a place to send people, if you don't have an email list, all that social media can go away. That's why we created the Marketing Impact Academy. Here's how it works. It's an online course. You simply log in. You can watch from your phone at your leisure when you have time. You go through the lessons in the order they're released. And I do that intentionally because if I were to release the hottest new tips on, LinkedIn on day one, that's where you would go instead of figuring out like, okay, let's really refine my brand. Let's clean up house right now on social media. And before I learn all these new techniques, how can I make certain that all my social medias, it's really clear how I help people, why they want to follow me, what's in it for them, not what's in it for me. And we do that first. And then we figure out your email list. And when I say figure it out, the way I do teach is as if my mom is my student. So I literally show you a screen flow and make it very clear, like based on no income, here's the right email list provider for you. If you have no income, no customers yet, here's the right one for you. If you've got this many, here's the right one for you. Give people choices, help people figure out how to do that. We set up all the know, like, and trust, and then we teach people how to kill it once they do reach the trust stage. And then ultimately the formula and how to use it on video, on email, on opt-in pages, on just any platform you can think of. There's a conversion that happens and we can always improve it and perfect it once you know the right formula. And we're constantly updating our program because, as I said, I don't want people playing catch up. If you're in the Marketing Impact Academy, you rest assured you will be an early adopter. You'll know about the trends instead of waiting to watch it on YouTube after everybody has regurgitated it and watered it down and copied it and rebroadcasted it and created like 20 different YouTube videos to do the same damn thing. By the time it hits YouTube, it is so out of date. You are shopping for a winter coat in February. If I don't yet know about the new changes to Instagram, where do I have to buy another course? No. We have not just me, but a team of experts who, like, their sole focus is to know what's happening on that platform. YouTube, we have an expert for YouTube. Instagram, we have an expert for Instagram. We have an expert for LinkedIn. All of these different platforms, we have experts who their sole focus is to figure out, okay, there's a new release. How does this help business owners? And how can I use it? I've designed it instead of like most courses, we have to do 6 weeks and then you're done. No, I've designed it so you can do a couple lessons, go, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm going to try that. Get in, learn it, go implement a couple of days later, make some money, and then go, oh, this is cool. So now how do I create a Shopify, fill in the blank, whatever your next thing is. Then you go back, you look for that content. It's a library of updated content that serves you on your time frame when you're ready. It allows for life to interrupt because I'm a mom. I understand, like, okay, it's baseball season. Mom doesn't have any time to implement in her business right now, but a month from now I might. When Brett and I spent literally almost $200,000 in those first 2 years, and hundreds of hours. I just said, people shouldn't have to do this. This literally saves people that much time. Yeah. And I also remember thinking back then when I didn't have any money, I had enough faith in myself though, to make that investment. And they were big investments. But for us, today that's hard for people. So we really wanted to make it super affordable for people. Even with lifetime access, they can join for their first payment of $357. It's 6 payments total, but for $357, that gives people immediate access. And for people who are like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for this, or I don't really know how this will work for me. We give people a full 30 days. You go in, you can consume as much content as you want. You can apply the practices to see how it works for you. And if for any reason it doesn't work for you, we give you a full money back guarantee. You can return it. Oh, but this is the first time ever, though, we're giving people the playbook that goes with it. This is golden because most courses, you're consuming the content, then you have to take great notes, and you have to hope you can find those notes later. Figure out what you did and where you left off, because you will get interrupted. I guarantee you this, life is going to get in the way. But when you have the playbook, then you can just go back and go like, okay, so I'm creating a new course, let's just say hypothetically, and you just go back to your branding pages, you go back to your branding sheets, and you go, okay, what is it I listed as the problem I'm solving for my lifer? What were the, things that make me an expert? I mean, we give you the templates for the most important emails that you need to be sending to your customers. We literally give you the verbiage. We give you what it needs to. Here's your checklist for your next opt-in page. Like literally every time you do something, you don't have to go back and watch lessons. You're like, you've already watched the lessons. You've already consumed the content. You just flip back to that page and go like, oh yeah, we're creating a new sales page. Oh, I need to start collecting testimonials. Where are my notes on how I do that? Oh, I've got people who won't go on camera for me. Where are my notes on how to create testimonials from photos and from getting feedback from my customers on social media? Like it's all here and it never goes away. You have lifetime freaking access. And our customers, the ones I love the most, I think the people that I'm able to help the most are the ones who they're motivated. They're not quite sure how to streamline their efforts and their focus. They need to know what to do in the right order. Nadia, you talked about outsourcing.
Yes.
And this is a big deal for me, but I also know it scares people because they're like, wait a second, I got to do all this stuff. I'm not making any money. I need to invest in myself. And now you're telling me I need to invest in additional help when my business isn't making enough money. Aren't I saving money if I'm learning to do this stuff myself? And I understand that thinking. I was raised by an entrepreneur, my father. And unfortunately, I learned to do things that way, thinking that I was saving us money, but I'll learn to code. What am I doing? Like all these dumb things, like I'll learn to edit the videos.
No, dude, I can build a website in 5 minutes. I learned it, Chalene. It's true.
I have no doubt. But eventually you realize, okay, of course I can do it, but should I be?
Yeah.
And so for those people who are like, I recognize that I need help. I just don't know who to hire or where to hire or how to find these low cost virtual assistants that I can trust, or how to set up my accounts where I can feel comfortable giving them my logins, and how do I work with people overseas, and how do I know who I'm supposed to hire first, and how do I make my very first part-time temporary hire, and what do I give them? And we created a bonus for those people who want to make the whole payment all up front, a one-time fee that covers you for the rest of your life in MIA. That's $19.97. For the people who are like, oh, I'm all about that savings and I want to do that, we're going to give them an academy that's called our Virtual Business Academy.
Oh my gosh. I'm
yeah.
out right now.
VBA is amazing.
That is amazing. And I learned so much from that academy. I am fired up about that.
We teach you like, okay, what websites to go to, depending on what things you need to outsource. We give you a list of how to post the job. We teach you on screen how to interview, how to source those people, how to hire people part-time temporarily. So if they don't work out, you're not stuck with them. I'm going to give you 2 free tickets to our live event It is in Southern California. John and Nadia know it is a party. It is fun. It's creative ideas. I bring in the best experts. Those tickets are $2,000 a piece. You'll get two. The moment you join, I'll immediately send you an email. It'll include your password. You can log into our private community. That's where you ask your questions. It's where you connect with other people. Like, that's priceless. It is a monster of a library. Anything you can think of, it's in there.
In my opinion, this is the last program that somebody would have to purchase. This is the last program they would have to invest in. And there's probably one other program out there that we would recommend they get, and that's our social marketing bootcamp. Basically, the 10 steps on how we built a multi-million-dollar business, all on social media, all on Facebook. Like just today, our team has already done over 130,000 in sales. Last month, we did 3.7 million. Last year, we did 30 million. All the things that people want to learn from us inside this one program, we're giving those of you that get the Marketing Impact Academy, we're giving you access to that program for free as well.
So you guys, here's what we're also going to do. So we're going to do a 60-day private Facebook community where you're going to get access to John and I and our team. So for the first 20 people that get started with the Academy, right? So mylifestyleacademy.com/MIA. We're also going to do a branding review. So we're going to do a special. We're going to take a look at your stuff. Anyways, details to follow.
So somebody earlier said, what if they're looking to build their network marketing business? You know, they're just getting started. What if they're just, getting their network marketing up and their network marketing business up and running? Is this something you would recommend?
Absolutely. I mean, that is the greatest percentage of our most successful clients. And in fact, if you look at most of the top people in the organizations that we serve across the board, like there was one year, the top 10 in like 3 different organizations, 8 of those people were Marketing Impact Academy students because they learn this stuff. And here's what happens. And you know this because you're great leaders, is you learn these things and they're replicatable. Like you can replicate this with your team so they understand how to do this, because most organizations aren't teaching you these things. They're teaching kind of outdated practices or things that really help the organization, but don't help you to grow your lifestyle brand simultaneously. And so that's the greatest, I would say, opportunity for those in network marketing is also to be able to connect with other people in network marketing who aren't in your organization. Because that's where you can get some oh, wow, that is so cool. I hadn't heard this idea. It's just like-minded people coming together and sharing great ideas. But these techniques, especially the curiosity marketing, teaching people how to maximize their time. Some of the techniques that we teach people. So, because you think, well, how can I scale personal conversations? You can't scale yourself, but you certainly can scale your personal conversations. And we teach very tactical, very real-time ways to do that so that you're not stuck on your phone or your laptop all day.
Someone else also asked, what if you kind of just touched on this, but what if you have a full-time job, not a lot of time? Where should that focus go? Someone that's maybe just got a couple hours, maybe here and there in the evenings or whatever.
If you know how to use a phone, you have the ability, and in my opinion, the responsibility to make additional income. And that's what it's about. It's just make additional income. Like we teach you how the very first thing you'll do when you get in the Marketing Impact Academy is I want you to have confidence. I want you to go, this is possible for me. So we have a quick cash bonus. And when you go through that lesson, you'll learn how you can, some of the favorite things that you love and you're buying on Amazon every day. I'm going to teach you how you can set up a Shopify site in one night. So that now when you're talking about these things that you love, just by simply recommending them, you have your own site where you don't even have to import those things and ship them yourselves. We'll teach you how to drop ship, teach you how to set up your own Shopify, teach you how to become an Amazon affiliate, teach you how to set up Amazon or affiliate links for all of the favorite products and services that you already love. Because for so many people, they need that proof. And the very first time you wake up and go, oh my gosh, someone just bought that from me. I don't care if it's a $7 sale. You get bit by the bug and you're like, woohoo, this is going to work.
Bit by the bug.
My son is a great example. Between universities, he was transferring schools and they were between the quarter and semesters. And so he was going to spend about 4 weeks not in school. And we're like, Oh, we know a school you can go to. You're going to the academy, the Marketing Impact Academy. So we made him go through, we made him go every single day into our office and sit down with his headphones on and get through the academy. Well, he got through it very, very fast because he did it full time in 4 weeks. And in the first 6 months after he went through it on his own, he made $30,000 as a full-time college student who is also a full-time athlete. He's a Division I football player. And this year, as a college student, he ain't calling mom and dad to ask for money. He is 100% self-sufficient. And I use him because, you know, then I can like pat myself on the back as being a good mom too. But he's taking care of himself financially, made $100,000 this last year.
Boom.
Pretty fun to have him like, you know, file taxes and like realize that reality.
That's amazing.
So,
Hashtag
you know,
parenting goals.
Busy moms, people have jobs that you love. Don't quit your job, but learn how to do this on the side. Just a couple of hours. Just learn how to do it so that it's so risky to be doing just one thing. I don't even care if it is your own business. It's risky today to be doing just one thing. It could go away tomorrow. Even if you're in network marketing, the shake or the supplements or the product that you love, something could happen tomorrow. We see this happen all the time. And network marketing organizations get shut down. Well, guys, I've got to take one. I've actually got to jump on the next training tonight. But thank you so much for having me. I love you guys to death. You're so fun. And this has been a great opportunity. So if anyone wants to reach out to me on Instagram, like if you have questions that I didn't get to answer for you, hit me up on my DMs on Instagram. I am at Chalene Johnson and I'll make sure to reply. And thank you so much for having me tonight.
Chalene, thank you so much. We love you. You guys drop lots of hearts if you got so much value from the broadcast. Chalene, we love you. Like seriously, the impact you make. Thank you so much.
Some people ask, well, why do you guys promote things like this or Elite Marketing Pro or you know, some of the other things you promote? And it's because honestly, guys, we don't teach this stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to teach you how to set up a freemium. We're not going to teach you how to build an email list. Now, Nadia is going to do this as a free bonus for those of you that get the Marketing Impact Academy because Chalene's teaching it.
Right.
And then she's just helping you get some of your pertinent questions answered. She'll do hot seats. Her team will come in and help out as well. So it's like, and this is what's powerful to me about this, especially for the first 20 that get started tonight, you're going to get that branding. What is it? A branding audit where you're going to analyze their brand and kind of give them some feedback on how they can improve what they're doing. And I think it's after 30 days, right? Because you want them to go through some of the program first.
No, you definitely want to go through and implement, right? Because then we can. So basically,
there's no sense in you analyzing their brand before they've even gone through some of the academy, right?
For sure. So basically, our whole goal is to really help you navigate through it because I know the struggle. And let me explain to you what it is, that you are going to be very critical on your genius and on the way that you do what you do. And this is why we invest so much money in experts because you know what I mean? You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And to be really partnered up, if you will, with us and our team and having Chalene's like experts and basically you're outsourcing all of this stuff. Right. And at the same time, having that accountability is really, really huge. Right. So we're excited about it. I'm telling you, if you love Chalene, you're going to love the Academy. It's awesome.
Well, and
I love that she gave virtual Academy as well.
That's for people that do the full 1997. So you got to do the full. If you do the payments, you don't get that, but you know you're still going to get tons of value. So the thing that I love that you mentioned earlier, is the updates. I love the updates because Nadia pointed out that how many of us have gone through programs, and it's a lot of videos. Unless you're showing people something, why can't I just listen to it? Yeah. So Chalene updated a lot of her program and she's always updating it, right? Her and her team are updating and it's audio. So you can listen while you're driving, while you're getting ready in the morning.
Yes. What I do is I take a website and I put it on my home screen, right? And then I create a folder. There's a couple of different websites or whatever the program that I'm digesting at the moment. So if there's no audio and you open it up on your cell phone and you're watching it as a video, if you turn it off, it turns off the video. It drives me crazy, right? So, but if there's the audio playing, like MIA, I just went through and listened to the latest. So remember how Chalene talked about as a bonus, you get the 2 tickets to her Marketing Impact Academy Live, which is a total dance party. It's so much fun. You're going to walk out of there way more in shape, definitely. And she brings on the best experts. You learn all the new stuff, right? So I went through that whole thing just recently, like as they released it. It was so good, but I did it all from my phone. So it's easy to digest. You can implement, you can integrate. And again, John and I, because we get your questions, right? And so this really is a solution for you. If you're ready to just elevate your brand, right? Your message, your funnels, your marketing to that next level.
How many of you have funnels? Yeah. And look, do you have to create an email list? No, you don't have to, but you also don't have to have success. You also don't have to make profits, right? Like building an email list at some point makes sense. I mean, look, how many of us remember when Facebook was shut down for a whole day with Instagram, right? Like how many of us were like freaking out? Like, I guess I have a day off. But if you have an email list, you can still communicate with your list. What if your Facebook account got shut down? God forbid. Knock on wood. Just go to mylifestyleacademy.com/MIA. You're going to be blown away by this program. Again, you got a 30-day money back guarantee. You get access to our social marketing and recruiting bootcamp, our private Facebook community, the MLA students community with all of our paid students, all of the course members that have gone through all of our programs. And then you also get access to a 60-day. This is probably the best bonus of all, honestly. It's the 60-day pop-up group where you're going to get access to Nadia and her virtual team, helping you with your brand, with your online business. And the first 20, you're going to get that brand audit.